My name is Kilini. I'm 37 years old. And 1 week ago, my divorce became official. I need you to really listen to what I'm about to share, because it might save you years of your life. Not because my story is shocking. Not because there's drama or betrayal. But because it's simple. Ordinary. And that's exactly why it matters. 1st January 2026. That's the date on the paperwork. My ex-husband, Matt, asked for that day so we could file taxes together one last time. He owns a small business, and it made financial sense. I agreed. Even at the very end, we were still making small, practical compromises. That's how fine everything looked on the outside. Calm. Civil, reasonable. But inside, we were completely disconnected. The divorce was my choice. A terrifying leap into the unknown. I'm a mom to a 4-year-old little girl. I hadn't worked in years. I'm a registered nurse, but I left my job during the pandemic when I got pregnant. We didn't need my income. Matt did well. We were comfortable. Secure. From the outside, I had the perfect setup. Healthy child. A stable home. A husband who wasn't cruel, abusive, or unfaithful. And still, I walked away. Most people don't understand that. When I told friends and family, I could see it on their faces. They were waiting for the real reason. The secret. The betrayal. But there wasn't one. And somehow, that made everything harder to explain. Things really began to unravel after my daughter was born. The pregnancy was easy. The birth was smooth. I was lucky in every way. But once she arrived, something inside me changed. Postpartum anxiety hit me like a tidal wave. I'd always been a little anxious, but motherhood took it to another level. I became obsessed with control. I stopped trusting myself. I gave my confidence to books, blogs, experts, anyone who promised to tell me how to be a good mom. Sleep disappeared. Not because my baby was impossible, she was normal. 3 or 4 hour stretches. But I couldn't shut my mind off. I'd lie awake staring into the dark, completely wired. I'd only fall asleep from pure exhaustion, and then she'd wake again. Matt didn't really see what was happening. He thought he was doing his part. He was working, providing, being present physically. In his mind, that was enough. He didn't realize I was drowning. And I didn't know how to ask for help without sounding angry or critical. I chipped away at his confidence without meaning to. He felt helpless too. We both did. We stopped being partners. We barely felt like roommates. It took a full year before I felt like myself again. I was in therapy the whole time. That work saved me. Truly. And honestly, the biggest gift Matt ever gave me was supporting me while I did that. He never even knew how much it meant. After my daughter turned 1, I decided to fight for the marriage. I tried everything: therapy, books, techniques, conversations, compromises. For 2 more years, I gave it everything I had. But eventually, I had to face the truth I was avoiding. The marriage was over. I was exhausted in every way: emotionally, physically, mentally. My body started begging me to pay attention. I got sick constantly. Painful infections. Air visits. My system was screaming, "Wake up." There was no intimacy left. No spark. No closeness. The love I felt for Matt was warm, but distant. Like family. Safe, but empty. Asking for a divorce was the hardest thing I've ever done. From the outside, it looked insane. He was a good dad. He made good money. We had stability. We had a normal family. Why walk away from that? Then my therapist asked me something I'll never forget. Would you rather your daughter grow up in one home with parents who are together but unhappy, or two homes with parents who are apart but emotionally fulfilled? That question changed everything. I was deeply unhappy. And if my daughter grew up watching my relationship, she'd think that's what love looks like. No affection, no closeness, no tenderness. Just existing side by side. I want more for her than that. I want her to know love with hand-holding, with laughter, with small kisses for no reason. Real connection. Real partnership. Matt and I couldn't show her that together. Now, I'm divorced. We've been separated 7 months. And I can honestly say this: I feel like myself again. I see Matt thriving too. We've stayed friends. We co-parent peacefully. And our daughter is doing beautifully. I'll always be grateful for what he gave me: the time to raise our daughter, the years I had with her at home. Those memories are priceless. I'm going back to work soon. Starting over at 37 with a 4-year-old is scary. But it's real. And it's mine. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't need a disaster to justify leaving a marriage. You don't need cheating. You don't need abuse. You don't need a dramatic story. Sometimes wanting to be truly loved is reason enough. Not just appreciated. Not just tolerated. Not just provided for. Loved. People ask me if I'm scared. If I regret it, if I wonder what would have happened if I'd stayed, I don't. Because I know exactly what would have happened. I would have stayed small, quiet, disconnected from myself. My daughter deserves a mother who is whole, happy, brave enough to choose herself when it matters. Sometimes staying isn't the courageous choice. Sometimes leaving is. If you're in a relationship that feels empty, even if nothing is technically wrong, listen to that feeling. You don't need permission to want more. Your need for connection, intimacy, and partnership is valid. You are allowed to choose a life that actually feels like yours.